Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, bringing you the action here this evening for the Pro-Am category, and we're going to get things underway for this brand new season once again. Here at Brands Hatch, obviously the GT4s made their debut back again last night, and with myself and Kelly Davis bringing you all the action. Tonight it's just myself bringing you the action. Obviously, hopefully we should have Lexi next time out in the commentary box to bring you your weekly updates on the Pro-Am Championship. But for tonight, you're going to have to deal with my my beautiful self, I'm afraid. But nonetheless, let's hear you guys in the chat. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified. Jackson in the chat voted yes because there was no what's a Pro-Am option. Well, I kind of wanted to keep it positive, so I didn't put a no or anything like that. An evening or good luck, says Fury's granddad. But we are live here at Brands Hatch for the first race of the Pro-Am Championship. And let's have a quick look at the circuit itself. Brands Hatch, the circuit that we start the season off at, it is 2.4 miles long, 3.9 kilometers long if you're looking in kilometers. There's 11 corners, 3 to the left, 8 to the right, and pole position tends to start on the right hand side. The lap record overall on ACC is a 1 minute 21.9. In this car that we're currently watching at the minute, the BMW M4 GT3. And the two drivers that are the most successful around the circuit is myself and Overtaker. We'll keep an eye on how but myself and him will get on later on this week. But that is a quick rundown of the round that we are at. We are Brands Hatch for this evening, and it's going to be an excellent night worth of racing. We have some returning faces and new faces as well, and one of the returning faces is at the top of the table, back the Cam Racing duo. It is Robert Ramsell leading the way at the minute, and his teammate Stephen Millington back as the Cam duo, deciding to change colour livery this year. They were obviously black, red and yellow last season. This time they've gone for a white, blue and green, and obviously they've been snatched up by the Greasy Bandits group, so obviously they're running the Greasy Bandits colours. Second is D Hibbs, the what a part of the Greasy Bandits are racing, and he is with the boss himself, with John Goudet in the Aston Martin, leaving the Mercedes, going back to the Aston, and we'll see how he gets on. Wolski, a new driver, the BMW M4. We'll see how he gets on this evening, looking quite good on the pace at the minute, currently half a second off the fastest, and returning back once again, it's Paul Williams in the Stage 2 Motorsport. Obviously, this man's got a lot on his mind this season. With obviously the charity race coming up very soon as well, and we'll see how he gets on. He's partnering up with his good friend Steve Beck, both of them running the Stage 2 of Motorsport in the McLaren. We got B, a limiter, a new driver coming back, coming to the championship. He is with a returning driver we know as Flem Speed 1. His class is back on the calendar. He's racing with us in his Porsche 992. We'll see how he gets on with the new caliber of drivers. Sam Greaves is back once again in his McDonald's livery with Fat Bloke as well. Both of them running the BMW M4 in that McDonald's livery. Are they going to be loving this season? That is the question. Your trusty Nissan driver Michael Johnson back once again in the Nissan. When we got Sign in the BMW M4. We'll see how he gets on. Brand new driver to us this season. We got Remy Fernie, who's racing for Richie Corsa team. He has gone to the McLaren. And we then look to the two Mustang drivers of Rob Smith, and the other Mustang. Where is the other Mustang? He does have another teammate who's also running a Mustang. That is Gatsby, both of them running in the purple and black livery this evening. As we have a few in the chat. Hibbs, good luck everyone, fingers crossed for a good result from Hibbs. And we got also Clarball, evening all, and PM Motorsport saying evening all as well. Don't forget guys to hit that like button. So those guys are making their return back to the championship. We got the new driver of Eski, Roadrunner Motors in the Aston Martin, and I believe he's also got a teammate. His teammate is Flores, also running the Aston Martin as well. They'll see how those boys get on this season. We've got Luke Saunders making a return. He's in Cloud9 Racing, driving the BMW, part once again of the Greasy Bandits duo. They've been quite busy this season. The Greasy Bandits caught up a lot of the Pro-Am drivers. So we'll see how the Greasy Bandits clan gets on. We got Argent there in the SimPlay Racing colours. He's gone to the Bentley, left, I believe he was in the BMW last season. He is now back in the Bentley and seeing how he gets on with that car. It's nice to see the Bentley back on the grid. Betterson running for RB GT team in that beautiful livery for the BMW M4, with Barclock running for Mad Dog Motorsport, and his teammate is none other than DJ Phil running in the Audi this season, giving that a go after doing a fun Audi event. We got Tucker returning back in Team Murloc, and I believe B. Craig is also here as well. Yes, he is. He's currently on track as well. So both of those guys returning for Team Murloc back on the grid. We got Sturrock in the McLaren also join us, with the Cranky Duckhead returning once again. Lane in the only Lamborghini in this category, with Andrews in the Nissan GTR doing it for the Ballbusters Racing. We got Ian Best doing it for the Quadrum Motorsport. Andrew Taylor leaving Greasy Bandits and heading to SimPlay Racing. He is in the Ferrari, and that's a quick down of your drivers here this evening. But it is Ramsell setting the pace at the minute, and we'll go on board with Gouda. He's currently out on track. Reminder, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to be notified, and let's hear from you guys. Let's see you supporting your drivers. Keep me company this evening, because it's going to be a great night's worth of racing. And tonight's format looks like this. Currently, they're in a free practice session at the minute. Nothing has really changed regarding the championship. We're pretty much as it was from last season. There's only a few little changes here or there, but we are now going to have a normal qualifying session for the first race, and we will also have a standard race as well, a sprint race, 20 minutes, and there is a pit window that must be applied, and they will have to pit within that window. Obviously, they don't really need to change tyres, but if they really want to, they can. It's a 5-second loss in that sense. Obviously, then we'll go into a small little break, the practice session, so everyone can get themselves calmed down, get the drinks, get themselves hydrated, ready for the next race, or go to make a comfort break, whatever they need to do, and go from there. Then they go into the feature race. Obviously, the GT4s had a 45-minute race. The Pro-Am and Pros will be doing an hour-long race. And again, pit window must be applied. But from last season, where it was only 1 second they needed to put fuel in, this season, it's a mandatory 25 seconds. Now, what this does is open the opportunity for strategy, especially for tyres. So when tyres come into equation, there's a 5-second loss in the tyre change. So we'll see how these guys get on, and yeah, we'll keep an eye on who is where. We'll see where the pecking order is. Obviously, we know roughly from last season who was where. Obviously, drivers gone up. We've got the likes of Ellie and Richie Michelle, who will no longer be in this category. They are in the Pro, so it's all game on. We will be crowning a brand new champion in the Pro-Am category. Let's have a look in the chat. Who we got in here? Jackson in the chat, 16 viewers, 8 likes, 50%, not too bad, but I believe we can get that chat doing better, and yes, we can. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Standards look like they're massively improved these times, would be rivaling the Pros 2 seasons ago. Yeah, this is the level of the championship. It has got faster and faster in this category, and this is just the thing that I love about SimPlay Motorsport. We are growing in pace massively, and there's lap times that even the pro drivers would dare to dream to do. Who else we got in the chat? We got Fitzy in the chat. We need a pops Fitzy in the chat there. Arthur, Jesus, that Williams has got quick. Who else we got? Ben in the chat. Evening. Unfortunately, I've arrived, and we got Peaceful Stepdad saying good evening all, and we got Jamie Brazier as all saving evening as well. So into qualifying session we go. 10 minutes they have, and this is going to be tricky. Currently we have tonight, we have on the circuit 32 cars are racing here this evening. And straight out of the blocks, who is that at the front? I believe it is the Ferrari driver, the one who was fastest and the start of that session. That is Robert Ramsell, and he is the first one out on track. So we will go around with him. But let's see how they all get on this evening, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also while you're there, have a look in the bio as well to our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. Have a look in their descriptions. Obviously, Design Manchester, producers of vinyl, graphics, laser engraved gift mugs, printed clothing, and much more, including a SimPlay merchandise. And head over to Audio Sport as well. Manufacturers of VW Transport, T4, audio solutions, and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk. Don't tell comms Jackson is Fitzy. We got Michael Harris in the chat. Evening all. Come on, the FBR boys in their clan once again in a very strong force. I really do need to get a hold of a keyboard at some point, because I can be able to change the camera. So next time out I will be looking to try and get a keyboard, because these cameras aren't brilliant. They're very good for doing fancy shots and stuff, but they're not very good for racing. But let's take you a lap with Robert Ramsdell as he head towards turn number 1, making sure you have a good entry into turn number 1 and not running a little bit too wide into the gravel. Heading up towards Druids now, braking uphill, trying to release it off the brake to get the front turned in, dropping down to possibly first or even staying in second to get a good exit to then head down towards Graham Hill Bend, get that turned in. There's a nasty bump on the inside of the curb, can shoot you wide, and also it's very easy to take track limits on the outside of that corner. Turn number 4, the left-hander. You want to lay apex this corner, easy to understeer and run wide, and then the car goes uphill and loses traction as you then head up towards the back straight, heading down towards the dip and into the fast flowing section of the GP loop. Into the first of the right-handers, braking, dropping down 1 gear and getting the front to turn in, get it to grip and be as committed as you possibly can, carrying as much speed then into the next right-hander, taking as much curb as you can and flirting with track limits once again, pushing the Ferrari to its limit, and then up to the blind right-hander. Just as you come up the top, you've got to believe that your car's going to grip and keep your foot pinned, or you're going to end up in the dirt. Then into the fast left-hander, slightly banked, a great run through there, and then through the final sector we go, in under the bridge and towards the final corner we go. Again, awkward corner, a bit of an awkward hill to go over across, but down towards the final straight we go. Robert Ramsdell is going to cross the line. He was the first car out. He is going to cross the line and set the pace of a 1:24.5. The limiter, by the way, I think cut the track, and this is something we saw in the GT4s, and we really recommend drivers do not cut the circuit, and we ask you to follow the circuit or return back to the pits. But Ramsdell setting the pace ahead of Hibbs, ahead of Greaves, ahead of Sai at the minute, with Eski currently in that 5th place position. Millington down in 6th with Beck 7th, and we see the pace now getting quicker and quicker as drivers are looking to improve. Paul Williams now goes up into P3. Who else have we got in the chat? Good evening all. Andy here. Good luck to all the GT3s tonight. I aspire to a race here one day. Please, if you are able to do so. This is I like to blow our own trumpet here at SimPlay Motorsport, but I do think this is probably one of the most competitive console leagues out there at the minute. And the pace that the pros are doing alone, let alone the let alone the Pro-Am drivers, are really blistering. As Bar Clock goes now up into P3, as we now look towards the back of the circuit and see what lap times others can produce. We look to the 52 of Kieran Argent. He's now coming to the line, doing it in the SimPlay Racing Bentley. What's he going to put? No lap time on the board for him there, as we see more and more lap times improve. Ramy Fernie currently 7th at the minute. John Goudet up in that 8th place position, already looking a little bit more competitive in that Aston Martin. They're coming thick and fast, and Sam Greaves now in the McDonald's BMW sets the pace at 24.4. Does Ramsdell have an answer? And then Sai then comes across the line and goes into P2. Reminder as well to the drivers, if I do mispronounce your names, don't be afraid to let me know and then tell me the actual pronunciation, because even though I'm definitely British and English, my dyslexia really does hold me back a little bit, so I will try not to murder these names as much as I can. John Goudet to the line, and it puts him up to P4, finding a little bit more pace on that lap with a little bit of traffic around him as well, which is going to be tricky to negotiate. Meanwhile, Ramy Fernie on the back of, looks like a McLaren just ahead. Not sure who that is, but Ramy Fernie, no improvement there. As Bar Clock now exiting the final corner, we see the Nissan GTR going wide. I believe that is Andrews. But to Ryan Barclay, does he improve? No, he does not. And Limiter now setting the pace in his Porsche 992. So Porsche looking quite strong here, but it is the two BMWs at the minute looking like they're going to be giving the Limiter a bit of a headache, as Arjun now goes up into P2 in the Bentley. So he's found some place, as Gatsby also in the Mustang improves to 4th place as well. So lap times are improving. We're looking to possibly, I think a pole would be a 23 8 or 9 for the Pro-Ams, and at the minute we're at a 24-1 set by the Limiter. And as I say that, Side goes across the line and does a 23.8. That's the pace we are looking at, and he's got a little bit of traffic, so he improves there at the minute, and he's just on the edge of pro pace at the minute. Who is on a lap? John Goudet now coming into the final corner. Trying to get that Aston Martin hooked up as best he can, pushing the limits right out to the very edge. And to the line he comes. The Aston Martin driver, what does he do? No improvement, and stays in 10th place position. As we look to the 7-7, that is Luke Saunders, another greasy bandits driver. He crossed the line, he goes into 17th place position with that lap time on the board. Michael Johnson on track, the Nissan GTR driver. We don't often get to see him out in qualifying. He tends to like to hide away, but in this time round he is out on the circuit. And a lot of cars in front of him. He's up to pit, and that's a bit sketchy pit lane there from him. But they're all coming towards the line. There's still sign at the minute who is fastest. Here comes Sam Greaves, looking like he had the early pace earlier on, and no improvement, stays P4 at the minute. Meanwhile, Ramsell is on a lap. He set the pace earlier on. Can he improve? He's currently sat down in 9th place position. And no, he does not improve. No lap time from him there. As I'm trying my very best to see all the drivers that are coming thick and fast. Fat Bloke at the minute, top 10 as it stands, up with his teammate. So that's what we love to see from him. And once again, Sign is the car to beat. Now at the minute, no improvement from anyone else. Limiter at the minute gone very wide. That is not going to be an improvement from him. Who can we see towards the end of the lap? Here comes Paul Williams. No improvement from him. And John Goudet completes lap, staying as close to the edge as he possibly can. It puts it P2 on that lap. John Goudet improves to P2. A great lap from him. And Luke Saunders, I know, is the next car to come to the line. He does not improve there. The 555, that will be Fat Bloke on a lap. Currently in 11th place. Been dropped down now. And what can he do? The McDonald's driver, is he loving this lap? He's still going for it. He's got his teammate right behind him. Hopefully in a minute they'll deliver my Big Mac very soon. That'd be absolutely lovely. Towards the line comes Fat Bloke and Sam Greaves. And Sam does improve. It gets within 0.004 of a second. So that ever so slight toe helped him out massively there. And Robert Ramsell now coming to the line. Is he going to take provisional pole? Oh, he only goes P6. More lap time definitely in there, as we know what lap times he can do. We go back to Paul Williams, currently 12th at the minute. He's got a couple of cars ahead of him that are all on a current lap. And we see there, I believe Hibbs just improved. He goes to P5. I think Sonny is done. He's in the pits, and we won't be seeing him for the rest of the session. So at the minute, it's Sign out the way, leading away from Sam Greaves. He's in the pits. He can't improve on 0.004 of a second. John Goudet, though, coming to the line. He's 200s off the pace at the minute. Can he get any closer? No, he can't. But this is going to be his real last attempt here. On board with the Limiter. Oh, he's got a bit deep in that corner, and he's decided to bail as well. There we see the McLaren of... I'm not sure who that is. That is the Cranky Duck. I didn't realise he's got McLaren. He's usually in the Honda, and he goes 26. He will get another lap on the board. The 555, that is Fat Bloke out the final corner, and here he comes. Has he improved on 13th? No, he has not. And he was the last one to cross the line to set a lap time. Argent doesn't improve, he stays 7th. Klaus doesn't improve either. The Nissan GTR, that is John Andrews. He doesn't improve either, and he goes back to that position. Robert Ramsell in the end, only P5, setting the pace earlier on. He does not improve. Sam in the pits. John Goudet still on a lap. Who else is on a lap? The 59. This is Stephen Millington. Can he get near his teammate? No, he cannot. He stays where he is. The 1:35.7, and that is Benedict Vega, and he crosses the line. 15th place position for him, a great lap time from himself. John Goudet, I think, is done. Yes, that is it. That is qualifying session done, and it is the new driver of I'm gonna Snai. Yeah. If anyone else could make sure that I said that right, I'm probably getting it wrong. I'm probably absolutely ruining these names, but it is the BMW driver, the 333, standing on pole position. It is an all BMW front row because Sam Greaves is joining him as well. SimPlay Motorsport, do you not have races for an AM tier? No, we do not, sadly, but yeah, we only have Pro-Am and Pro, and obviously the GT4 class as well. That's kind of how if we were to do it, we were probably split some of the Pro-Ams up into Pro and then have an AM league. There's probably more people close to the Pro-Am pace than we do than anything else. So all the Pro-Am drivers are pretty much a variety of different levels of drivers. So BMW 1-2 at the front, John Goudet starting in third, with Limiter in fourth, with Ramsell fifth, Hibbs in sixth, Williams in seventh, Argent eighth, Wolski in ninth, and Millington in that 10th place position. Gasby will start in 11th. Beck is starting in 12th, with Klaus in 13th, Fat Bloke 14th, with Ben in 15th place position, Smith in 16th, with Barclock in 17th place position, Fernie in 18th place, 19th being Andrew Taylor, Efsky in 20th, with Saunders down in 21st, Flores in 22nd, Tucker 23rd, Betterson in 24th, Starrock in 25th, Duckhead in 26th, 27th is Best, with DJ Phil 28th, Johnson 29th, Andrews 30th, and Lane 31st, and B. Craig to the back of the grid. Let's get the sprint race underway, guys. And Michael Harris in the chat, less than a second between pole and 15th. This is a tight Pro-Am grid. It is possibly the tightest Pro-Am grid we've ever had. And again, that's a testament to our brilliant hot stints. So as I will get a poll going for you, race winner for, race one winner. And if you do like what you see here at SimPlay Motorsport, then head over to our SimGrid. Obviously, we run everything through the SimGrid now, so if you do want to sign up as a reserve, then feel free to go to our SimGrid, which is in the description below, and be a part of the grid as well. Reminder as well, this round will be the only double qualifying. Next week, they will be running in championship order. Reverse order of that, so the leader of the championship will start at the back. As we've got 32 people currently watching the stream, and hit that like button, and apologies not being able to make it tonight. Thanks for hopping in. Not a problem, Lexi. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the action here this evening. Reminder as well, have a look at our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing, and much, much more, including SimPlay merchandise. Head over to their Facebook page in the description below. And also Audio Sport, manufacturers of VW Transporter, T4 audio solutions, and styling products. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk, and also their Facebook page is there as well. Poll's gone up, ladies and gentlemen. Get your votes in on who you think is going to win this first race. And for me, I believe if one of the BMWs has a decent start here, I think it's going to BMW win. Feel free to hit that love button as well. And a quick reminder as well, if you are driving, if you are a part of SimPlay Motorsport and you do want to be a Patreon, then have a look at our Patreon page, as I will bring that up quickly for you. It's only £3 a month, and with that £3 a month, you will reserve your preferred race number, priority of access to sign-ups and events, so you will get the first choice. Track suggestions towards future seasons, pre-season promo images, and also your links and videos and all that lot will be automatically shared in the Discord. As we're about to get things underway for the first race of the season, the first race for Pro-Am of 2025, it is an all BMW front row. McDonald's loving the start of this season, as Sam Greaves is going to look to try and attack Sonny Snai straight at the start of this race. I want to say Sonny, I want to say Sai, but I think it's Snai. We'll go with that. But it is an all BMW front row. Who's going to come out on top as we now wait for the official green here at Brands Hatch. And we are green and go here as Tucker gets himself a drive-through for outer position as we head out towards turn number 1. And Snai's had a great start with Sam Reeves right behind him as they head up towards Druids for the first time. Already a Mustang off in the background as they head up towards turn number 2. And John Goudet has gone with him. Kieran Argent looking to go around the outside of Paul Williams. And so far looking very clean from everybody here. And beautiful start here. Pretty much everyone through the first couple of corners, and Luke Saunders not ready enough, so he started from pit lane. But what a great start from everyone there, clean as you can be, as we've got some drivers at the back of the pack with a little bit of moments as well. Oh, there goes a BMW. I'm not sure which BMW that was. I think it was Benny. Yes, it is. And there we see a couple more cars going around the Nissan GTR, and Benny's been caught up in all of that, but it is Snai leading the way from Sam Greaves, who's got John Goudet hunting him down, with Robert Ramsell also having a great start, and he's just behind his boss. But the Cam Racing duo obviously running under Cam name, but John Goudet looking very fast and very competitive here already at the start of this race. Further back, we've got a couple of cars off. Have they all kept it out of the wall? There is a car off. Oh, there goes the McLaren. That is Fernie, I think, has gone round. He is, and he's in the middle of the circuit, and he's hit Betterson. Duckhead is involved in that as well. DJ Phil also involved in that, and Fernie with major damage. He just should have stayed where he was. I know he's in the middle of the circuit, but that's caused him more damage. But Snai leading the way from Greaves, from John Goudet, from Ramsell, from Limiter, from Hibbs, from Argent, from Williams, and Warski goes a bit wide. That's going to allow Klaus up the inside, and a job done there as Gadsby also looking to go up the inside in the Mustang, but can't seem to get alongside as Millington just on the back of this group as well, as the leading packs pull away from the group that had a massive incident further back. It is then 4 seconds back to a Fat Bloke, and sorry, it's back to Best actually, who's at the back of this group, and Vesky as well trying to work his way through towards the front of the order. But Snai though leading away from Greaves, from Goudet. So your top 4 starting to break away here, as the limiter at the minute seems to be holding up Hibbs quite a bit, and Hibbs looking to the inside for a possible opportunity there, but could not find a way through. Up to the blind right-hander they come, and all so good so far from everyone. As Klaus now also trying to put, oh, he's touched the grass and somehow manages to save that slide in the Porsche, and has pulled away from this group as well. So it's been relatively close and good racing so far from everyone here, and Pablo just on the back of this leading group. So no real threats at the minute, no real drivers looking to make an opportunity, but they're all still quite close to top 14 as Eski's pulled away from Best. He's got Taylor hunting him down with Johnson not too far away either. That GTR very fast in a straight line. There's a car off there. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Eski? Yes, it is. He's just touched the gravel and off he goes. And through goes Flores as well. So he's onto the back of his teammate, I believe. Yes, he is. These guys try to work their way towards back to the fronting group, but Snai at the minute pulling away from the pack. And you see, oh, John Goudet's gone a little bit wide there in the Aston Martin, making a mistake, and that's going to allow the BMW of Sam just to pull away a little bit more. He's going to be a bit more pressure under Robert Ramsell as they all work their way through the fast right-handers. And Snai there taking a bit of a slide through there. That's going to lose him a little bit of time. And you can see there the consistency is key. And Snai's gone a little bit wide. That's going to compromise his exit. But sadly, Sam is not there to capitalise. He's too busy looking in the rear views of John Goudet. But the limiter also still trying to keep the cars behind him in that Porsche. As we see there, Robert Ramsell running wide, and that has ruined his momentum down this straight, and he has lost touch with the leaders. That's possibly going to give John Goudet a bit of clean air, a bit of fresh air, just to focus on the top 2. And already we're nearly 5 minutes into this race, and it's been drama already packed with action as well. Fat Bloke's had a moment. He's got damage to the front end of his car. Meanwhile, Best is having to defend as Fernie returns back to the circuit. Best having to react to Taylor, and Remy Fernie needing to get out of the way as soon as he can. He is a lapped car and he is not getting out of the way. He's defending. And Remy Fernie there being a bit of a nuisance there. Taylor trying to clear these cars as Michael goes up the inside of Best. And the two Roadrunner Racing duo can't do anything either, as there's Michael. He's gone round. So where has Michael been collected? As Andrew Taylor, where's he? He's still on the back. Oh, he's cleared Fernie now. But a little bit of Remy Fernie holding up the leaders there after his big pit stop. But still, your top three close together as they were. Snide still fastest lap of the race. Robert Ramsell has got that pack hunting him down with Limiter, Hibbs, Argent and Williams all looking solid there in that top 8 position. And Klaus just dropping off the back of this group. And he has got Wolski, Gasby, Millington and Barclock still now with them. And Fat Bloke with the damage, he'll obviously want to pit. And Hibbs coming in, as has Argent. So both of those two into the pits, as now Sam Greaves takes fastest lap of this race. A lot of drivers opt into pits here. Gasby's in as well. Who is that? That is Tucker. He's coming to the pits. He's obviously had damage. He's not repaired it. And Betterson also into the pits. But Snide, though, even though he's lost fastest lap of the race, he's still got the BMW driver of Sam Greaves hunting him down, with John Goudet not too far along. So these three really in a kind of class of their own at the minute. Robert Ramsell was with them earlier on, but he's just made that slight mistake and he's dropped back. The Limiter trying to go with him, with Williams in 6th, Klaus in that 7th place, and Wolski there as well, as the drivers now exit the pit lane. Did Argent jump Hibbs? No, he did not. And Hibbs returns back on track. Argent's now returning to track, and Gasby also coming back onto the circuit. We got a slow car up ahead. Not sure who that is as the leaders come towards him. That is Brian Craig, and he has got severe damage to the front end of his car as the leaders try and work their way around him. He's trying to get to the pit lane, and Robert Ramsell is right there. And Paul B. Craig unable to get into the pits as he's got a other McLaren coming up behind. Oh, and that, I think, is Paul Williams. Yeah, Williams trying to come into the pit as Brian Craig's got severe damage to the front end of that car. The pit stops could definitely be crucial here. Peaceful explosion in the chat. John Goudet's just dropped off the top 2 at the minute. Possibly we'll have to start thinking of a pit stop. He's wanting to try and get some clean air, maybe, as Wolski is now starting to put pressure on Klaus here. The BMW versus the Porsche driver. Obviously, a lot of difference from the days when Flem Speed was in the Pro-Am. The pace has improved. It's got a lot quicker. He did end up in the Pro and struggled in the Pro. He's now obviously back in the Pro-Am class, and he's got a lot of fast drivers around him. Sam, though, having a fantastic start to this season. And let's have a look at the drivers that are in the pits. We've got Paul Williams, he's off and away. Johnson's in the pits. Duckhead's in the pits. Andrew's in the pits. And now Evsky is into the pits. Craig is done his stop. And Flores also in. With these pit stops happening, this is going to affect the race leaders as they'll start to come to lack traffic, as John Goudet has worked his way back onto the leading 2. As they are pulled right away from Robert Ramsell, who's now possibly got his own mirrors full of the Porsche driver. Any of the leaders coming in? Yes, John Goudet decides to pull the trigger, and Limiter in also as well. We see Wolski opting to pit. See what these guys can do with the pit stops, and it's just keeping an eye on where everyone else pops in, as Hibbs still with the leading car from the pit stops. As Argent's in that 70th place, Paul Williams there, and Gasby also in that fight with Johnson, with Duckhead fighting out, and Fat Bloke with that major damage has dropped himself further down the pack. But by the looks of things, Sam has made a mistake somewhere and has dropped off the back of the leading BMW. A majority of you reckon that John Goudet is going to win this first race. He's still in an opportunity to do so. He has opted to pit, so he's going to have that clean air possibly. As we look behind there, who is at the 53? That is DJ Phil and Best. Where is Hibbs? There he is. So John Goudet now coming towards the exit of the pit lane. And John Goudet's been jumped by Limiter. So John Goudet accidentally forgot to turn the tyres off because he's dropped behind Hibbs as well, as there's cars absolutely everywhere. Limiter there as well. Is that Kane in front? Yeah, Kane has pitted as well, but he's a lap down. He's going to try and get out of the way as Hibbs and Limiter here fighting hard. And John Goudet's strategy has not worked at all, and he has dropped down the order as Sam now opts to pit. Hibbs looking up the inside of the left-hander. The Porsche driver goes wide, and the McLaren trying to get alongside the Porsche, not the strongest in a straight line. He moves over to defend from the McLaren, but so far Limiter just hangs on to that position. Greaves and Millington both opting to pit here. And who is that in the pits as well? That is Flores once again. Fernie obviously continuing on through, and Craig returned to the pits with that major damage. Ben earlier on had a spin, but has worked his way onto the top end of this lap. Obviously still yet to pit. Sam Greaves has gone green, and we see there Limiter is the leading pitters. They're only now to the final corner, and Sam is already gone green and out of the pit, so a comfortable gap, and he's got a lovely bit of clean air. I think the next closest car to him is the 68 of Beck, Tucker, Efsky and John Andrews, so he's got a couple of lap cars to get through, as Luke Saunders is in, and also DJ Phil, who I don't think has done his stop. He's been dropped. But Snide, meanwhile, leading the way. He's opting to go another lap round. As Robert Ramsell also trying to push as far as they go. Nice hot tyres so they can keep going. Klaus has still got Barclock right behind him. And into the pit scum class. And Barclock also right behind them as well. Both opting to pit at the same time. And Benedict Vargo, when does he decide to pit? And Best, the only other driver from the top half to stop, as Remy Fernie is another one still yet to stop. We go back to this Limiter fight versus Hibbs, because this is hotting up. Both of these two fighting for position. And Robert Ramsell, with that clean air, has now gone the fastest lap of this race. So is he now trying to bring that gap down to the leaders, and Best trying to get out of the way, although he's racing them. Obviously, he does not really want to be in their fight, and he moves to one side. Best not to lose time, and John Goudet now is looking to make a move around the outside of Best. And is he going to get the job done? Yes, he is. I think Best is trying to pit. Yes, he is. And into the pit he comes. Limiter, meanwhile, did lose out to Hibbs there. I missed that. I think Hibbs ran, Limiter ran a bit wide, but Klaas comes out onto the track and right in front of his teammate. So Limiter has lost out massively in his pit stops and has dropped down the order. And now Hibbs is in that, I believe, that fourth place position at this moment in time. And obviously the lead is still yet to pit, so we'll see where this all plans out. But Snide carrying on through, as will Robert Ramsell as well. Both of them continuing on through, and Hibbs gaining that position. The GTR just in the way. Stephen Millington also worked his way onto this group, as has Argent. So everyone very close here. Argent now working his way through. He's got Paul Williams, and everyone's still relatively close to one another. So this has been some great action. Wolski dropped down to 13th, and Taylor now in that 14th place position. But we still wait for the leaders to pit, and if anything, they're going to start getting held up by the traffic. And there is your race leader. But we go back to Goudet, who's trying to give the Porsche driver Limiter a bit of a hard time. But there is a queue of cars behind Limiter, so as one Porsche passes the other, and Goudet is trying to find a way through. He's looking left, he's looking right, trying to find any possibility to get through, but he can't do so at the minute. Argent now also on attack of Millington. And there is Argent looking to the outside of turn number 1. He's going to try and be late on the brakes, and he gets the job done. A beautiful move there by Kieran Argent. A lovely done there, and he's up a position. Meanwhile, where is Snide? There he is. He's coming into the final corner, and now he finally pits. Robert Ramsell also pit, and that gap did come down in the end. But we'll see where this all pans out after that. Sam, though, has had it pretty easy on his own. No one really bothering him. Hibbs has pulled away from Klaas, but it's the Limiter who's the one holding everyone up, and he's got a little bit deep. That gave John Goudet a sniff off an opportunity up the inside, and the flash of lights telling him, I'm coming for you, mate. It's only a matter of time. Meanwhile, even though Argent made that move on Millington, he's under pressure from him and Williams, and Barclock just behind them as well. Some awesome racing here, very clean and fair, considering that these guys have been very close to one another. Oh, Paul Williams grabbing the dirt there. Sam, meanwhile, is in the final corner, and Snai has gone green. This could be close. Sam now comes down the back straight. Snai has now gone green. Pit window is closed, but Sam once again is right there, right with them. And Robert Ramsell has now come out of the pits as well, and he's well ahead of him. So he's in a third place position. So yeah, not a 1 litre splash dash, just a 25-second stop, but there is obviously the option to change tyres. That does cost them 5 seconds, but Snai in front of Sam Greaves though, Robert Ramsell in that third place position, and Hibbs in fourth. The limiter still, though, the trolley train this evening, holding up everyone else. It was his teammate earlier on, now it's him this time round, holding up Goudet, Argent, Millington, who's at a moment, and that's going to allow Williams around the outside. And he's going to try and do it into the left hand. Millington's going to hold the inside tight as best he can. But still, Williams and Millington going side by side. And Williams tucks in, but Barclock there as well. And Barclock's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm still here. I'm still racing you, mate. Watch out. As they head down towards the middle sector. Oh, DJ Phil is off. Everyone has to try and stay on circuit as DJ Phil has to try and find an opening to return back onto the circuit. But Snai, meanwhile, only a couple of laps left to go, and Sam is bringing that gap back down again. He's in a real groove here, is Sam, as Robert Ramsell also just dropped off the pace a little bit, but he's got a healthy gap to Hibbs at the minute. As Class as well in that P5 position. The limiter is sat in P6 with John Goudet in 7th. Argent breathing down his neck. It's been a close fight in this mid-pack. And that's how close they are. Taylor on his own with Johnson further back, and Benedict Varga also trying to catch him as well. Through Paddock Hill up towards Druids they go. And John Goudet possibly going to be very frustrated with himself. He was in a P3 position. I'm not sure what happened in the stops, but whatever he did has affected this race result. He was on for a podium. Oh, and there goes a couple of cars off. That is Best, and I think Duckhead as well. Both gone off. And Argent now once again going a little bit deep. That's going to allow Millington just to have a sniff opportunity. That's Kane off as well. Paul Williams at Barclock, Gadsby and Wolski all still close to one another. And John Goudet can't seem to find enough of an overlap to clear that Porsche, and Klaas has made a mistake as well, so the whole pack is going to be Constantina back up again, and Snai has got the gap to Sam, and Sam's not really able to do anything with it, nor Robert. So the top three at the minute is top four, sorry, is stable. And oh, John Goudet's made a mistake. He's gone wide, and that's going to put him under pressure from Kieran Argent, who's going to look to the outside, possibly try and get the undercut and use that Bentley grunt as John Goudet goes to the final corner. And he's under some pressure here from Kieran Argent, and that's going to allow the two Porsches just to breathe and get away. And he's gone wide again. He's gone onto the dirt, and John Goudet opening the door for Argent to go up the inside. Down into the inside he goes. Is he a bit too late on the brace? Yes, he's gone a little bit wide. He's slid the Bentley around. He's going to defend the inside for the hairpin, and he gets it stopped there as Paul Williams looking to the inside of Millington, but not quite close enough there. Oh, Millington had a slide there, possibly from a slight graze from Williams there in the background as they all Constantina back up once again. As Limiter has just caught up to his teammate, but he's gone very, very wide there. And that's going to really compromise his run through there. And Argent now is the leading trolley train driver. And down towards the back end of the circuit, we get into the GP. John Goudet having a sniff opportunity. This is the door opening that he may have needed. The Aston Martin's probably got a little bit better downforce than the Bentley. But the Bentley has got the grunt, and that Porsche once again sliding the limiter right on the limiter of that Porsche. Just looking a little bit messy at the minute. Possibly the problem with the Porsche, once you overheat the tyres, it's really difficult to try and get it back in a window. But we got down 7th all the way down to 12th, all close for a fight as Snai starts his final lap here. But look at these cars. all the way down to Wolski. They're all up for this final couple of places, and Arjun is pitting. He's not got enough fuel. Arjun, after a brilliant result, has not got enough fuel, and John Goudet retains that position back as Barclay sends up the insides, hits Millington. Millington goes wide, and Barclay there a little bit optimistic there, and Millington comes off worse. Eventually something had to give, and John Goudet is now the leading car. What is Barclay doing? Has he just made a mistake again, and that's going to allow Williams through? Williams just trying to be patient here, but he can't find a way through. But Snai at the minute going through the middle sector. He has got a car right behind him. I believe that is Beck, obviously a lap down, so he shouldn't really attack him. And Sam trying to get onto terms. There's Robert Ramsell as well, but they head into the final corner here. What a closely packed race this has been. But through the final few corners, there you go. Snai now to the line. It is going to be a BMW 1-2 here at Branch Hatch. It is going to be a first-time winner here for Snai. He wins the first race. He wins the sprint race. Sam is going to take that second place position. Robert Ramsell will finish in third. Hibbs is going to finish in that fourth place position here. Flash of lights from him. He'll be happy with that one. Klaus is going to finish in that fifth place position for him. The limiter hanging in there in the end. John Goudet in seventh. Barclay in eighth. Wolski in ninth. Gasby got Williams in the end ahead of Millington for the 12th place position. Taylor now coming around in 13th place position, with Johnson in 14th. As Benedict Varga is going to finish in 15th place position. Rob Smith in that 16th place position, with Fat Bloke in 17th. Luke Saunders in 18th place position, with Argent in 19th. What would he have done if he'd put the correct amount of fuel in? It had to be fuel. Starrock in 20th, Beck in 22nd, Evsky 22nd, Beck 21st, Esky 22nd, Tucker 23rd, Andrews 24th, Phil in 25th, Duckhead 26th, Flores in 27th, Fernie 28th, Kane 29th, Best 30th, Betterson 31st, and Craig in 32nd. That is your sprint race. We'll be back in a few moments' time as we will get the practice session underway while these guys grab themselves a drink and a moment to relax, and we'll bring you all the action for the feature race. We shall see you in a few moments' time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport, as we are just getting free practice done and dusted. I'll give you a quick rundown of what the championship standings look like after race one. Snai obviously leads the way ahead of Sam Greaves in second, Robert Ramsell in third, Hibbs in fourth, Class in fifth, with B Limiter in that sixth place position. As I'll move on to Flores as he's exit the pits. Limiter in sixth place is John Goudet, in seventh, eighth is Barclock, and in ninth is Wolski. 10th is Gadsby, and in 11th is Williams. Millington is in 12th, and Taylor is in 13th. Excuse me. Johnson in that 14th place position with Varga, is sat in 15th with Smith in 16th. Fat Bloke 17th with Saunders down in 18th place position with Argent, possibly in the top 10, dropped in the end with Fuel. And in 19th place position, Starak in 20th with Beck in 21st. Efsky in 22nd with Tucker 23rd. Andrews in 24th. DJ Phil 25th, Cranky Duckhead 26th, Flores in 27th, Fernie 28th, Lane in 29th, Best 30th, and Craig in 32nd, Beston in 33rd, and that is your championship order. Regarding the teams, it is Greasy Bandits Racing leading the way by 1 point ahead of FSO Racing in second, Cam Racing in third, with Fat Bloke Racing in fourth, Team Tom in P5, with Mad Dog Motorsport in P6, SimPlay Racing in seventh, with Stage 2 Motorsport in eighth, Cloud9 Racing in ninth, with 10th going the way of the Road Runners Motors. Team Merlot sat in 11th place position with a Bull Busters Racing in 12th, 13th is Quadrum Motorsport, 14th is RBGT Team, and the Morbies Racing is at the back in 15th place position. And that is the championship order. We are now into the qualifying session, and we are on board with Flores, who is going to be setting the first lap here. And thank you for all the kind words in the chat. I'm currently at 19 likes at the minute. Let's get this video up to 25 likes at least. We had at least 30 people in the chat. Let's see every single person hit that like button and give these drivers all the support they deserve. So obviously the first race of the season, we can't obviously base on the championship based on that. There's a lot more rounds yet to come, and we're going to a very different circuit after this one, as Flores is currently around doing a lap time. We will also have a look at the calendar. Brands Hatch is where we started off here. We are heading to Belgium for Spa for the second round, and then Indianapolis stateside in America for the morning race. Bathurst round 4 in the down under circuit, with Silverstone, the home of British Motorsport, in P5 in round 5, and in round 6 we head to South Africa for Kyalami. Round 7 will be the first of our night races of Imola. Then we head to Germany for round 8 in the Nürburgring. Round 9 is our next night race at the Red Bull Ring, and then Autumn Park in 10th round of the 7th season. And 11th round of the season, Watkins Glen, and we finish things off at Donington Park. And Hibbs sets the pace with a 25-1. These guys have a 15-minute qualifying session this time around, as Vargo now goes fastest of them all. And yes, that is our calendar. Donington now officially will be either the start of the season or will be the final race of the season, being our home circuit. Snai now goes fastest of them all. Fernie goes into second. Limiter, we're still waiting to see a lap time from him. He has now left the pits as Robert Ramsell comes to the line. And there's only 11th place to start off. Who is coming into the final corner? There is Sam Greaves, looking very good in that first race. Very competitive. John Goudet sets the fastest with a 24.0. And coming to the line, Sam Greaves only in that 16th place position. Lewis Allen, great race, guys. Cheers to all drivers, and also commentary as usual. No worries, Alan. Thank you very much for the lovely comment. And reminder, hit that like button, everyone. Let's see those likes here. As John Goudet setting the pace there, as Barclock now goes into 6th place position. To the line comes the 22 of Stork, who goes 12th position. There's Goudet setting the pace. Here comes Snai. He's into the final few corners here. Can he improve? And Fernie there also in that 3rd place position. Good lap time from him. To the line comes Sny. Any improvement here? He does go fastest with a 23.9, and so guys will have to try and improve on that. Who else is coming across line? Class in 7th place. Voski already crossed line. Steve Beck returning to the pits. Who's yet to set a lap time? It is the limiter. He looked quick earlier on. No lap time on the board for him either. But John Goudet still looking strong there as Robert Ramsell goes up into P3 there. So an improvement for him there. As Alan's retracted his comment, so Arjun now going into P5. Can he find a few more tenths to get himself ahead of Fernie? Ramsell has a big snap there as the back end steps around on him as Barclark now exits the final corner. The 7-4-1 coming to the line. And he goes up into P4. Good lap time from him there. Hibbs, the 31, was up there, thereabouts in the fight. This is going to be a long, hour-long race heading up towards the feature race. And Hibbs goes into P5. So lap times are coming together. Now we're on board with Smith in the Mustang. To the line, no improvement for him. So at the minute, John Goudet just off the pace. He's got a little bit of traffic. He's got a lot of free space behind him. And he's going to back off and use that free space while he can. Ramsell also opting to back off and get out of the way of, I believe, either Craig or Tucker. That is Tucker, who is on a lap, but just ahead of him is the 237 of Limiter. He finally gets a lap time on the board and puts him in 7th place position. So Fernie now dropping down the order as Hibbs also improves, and Barclark all starting to improve through their lap times. I'm just trying to keep an eye on when these times get updated as best I can. The number 4, where is the number 4? That is Andrew Taylor. McGowan in the chat saying howdy, nice to see him in the chat. He had a great GT4 night the other night. One race I think kind of went tits up and the other one went to plan. So that's the fun of the GT4s as well as we look towards the... Oh, and Robert Ramsell's had a nasty snap there as John Goudet has given himself a lovely window, but he's got no one in front of him, and as long as no one comes out in front of him as well, he should be in a great position for a decent lap time. So I look for the 5.57. That is Benedict Varga. Does he improve? Yes, he does. He goes up into 6th place position, so a great lap time from him. And where is the, I believe it was 75, yeah. Besson does improve. He goes up to 7th now, so lap times are starting to come down here. Like I said, trying to keep up to date on who is on what lap. And I think Limiter, yes, he improved once again. And he goes to 6th place position. Here comes John Goudet, currently 2nd. No improvement there. He's close to going quicker than Sny, who's also on a lap. So can we catch a driver coming to the end? We've just seen Tucker go through. I'm trying my very best to see the board on what car's next. It's very difficult to read. Flores into the final few corners. But here comes Flores now. Any improvement? No, he stays where he is. Sny is in the pit. He is obviously gone to refuel, I believe, and possibly recheck and go again. So a lot of cars coming through the final sector. There was an improvement by someone. Was it Barclark? No, it was... we saw Ramsell go through there. All right, I'm going to have to try and actually look close at these numbers now. Because... I'm trying to do it in the relaxation of my my seat, but I obviously can't do that. The 77 is next. That is Luke Saunders, currently 15th at the minute. Why is your mate Mike not helping you out on the comms? He's not really a commentary kind of guy. He doesn't seem to enjoy doing the comms. Fernie now, the 43, no improvement. John Goudet returning back to the pits, obviously for a refuel and a fresh set of tyres. The 68, that is Steve Beck. And Beck crosses the line, no improvement. I believe we're looking to the 118X. That is Paul Williams, and I think he has got either Brian Craig or Tucker. It's Brian Craig in front of him. And Williams does improve. And Sam at the minute just seems to be struggling in this session, not able to hook the lap up like he did earlier on. So hopefully he can get a lap time together. And it is Robert Ramsell who's going to be the next one on a lap, and trying to get a clean lap while everyone is out there is going to be a struggle. Please let me know, guys, if the stream looks a little better. I did make a slight change, I think, but I don't know if it is any better. Robert Ramsell now coming to the line. Hibbs has gone P3, and Ramsell doesn't improve. He has got a little bit of traffic in front of him. That is Kane. He has gone around. Wolski to the line. He improves and goes up to P6. So there is time to be found out there. And Snide does not improve. He stays fastest overall, though. Who's got the fastest sectors at the minute? It is looking like Snide with the final two sectors, Ramsell with the first, and Barclough has matched Snide in the middle sector as well. So those are your lap times and where people are fastest. As Betterson back in the pits. Argent now, he's in 11th place position. Can he find a little bit more pace here? No, he does not. He drops down the order as Sam, I believe, did improve that last lap. Minton up the order as well. Barclough coming now towards the final corner. And can Barclough improve on P5? Currently 3/10 off the overall fastest, and he does improve and gets within under a 10. So Barclough looking pretty quick here in this second session. The 7-2-1 coming up next. That is class. He is looking to try and improve on that 16th place position. Looking a little laggy there by the looks of things. He does not improve, so we're going to get off of him as soon as we possibly can. Limiter is in the wall with hefty damage, but he should, if he's quick enough, should have enough time to get back out on track. Flores looking to try and improve on his lap time. Meanwhile, Snide is done. Goudet is still out there trying to improve. Barclough can't improve either. And Hibbs looking to try and get some clean air as we look to the 68. That is Beck coming out of the final corner, currently 11th. Can he break himself into that top 10 position? He's only got to find a 10th to get in there. Or more than just over attempts, sorry, to get in there, but he does not improve. Same with Argent, I believe. No, sorry, Argent is in that top 8 as now Taylor goes into the top 10. So at the minute, all the way down to 18th place position. The pack is separated by a second, and I believe, who is that? Williams now goes up to 6th. So just the top 10 separated by 0.4 of a second. That's nothing around here. And Snide, I think, is done for the session. It's John Goudet now. Can he steal pole position away here? Barclough is also done as well. I don't think we'll see those two. So can the Greasy Bandits drivers do anything about them? And here comes also Robert Ramsell out of the final corner. Does he improve? No improvement. We are looking for the slightest change and movement, the slightest improvement. They are literally got to be pitch perfect here. Beto in the chat saying evening times are close. They are incredibly close, and it is absolutely brilliant to see. As I'm still trying to keep an eye on lap times, the 68. This is Beck. Oh, he goes a little bit deep there. As Beck tries to improve here to the line, he comes. No improvement. This is close. The number 4, that is Andrew Taylor in the Ferrari. He'll get another lap. Does he improve? No improvement for him. And they're obviously using their tyres up as they go along. There's the 31. That is Hibbs. He's on a lap as well. Beto Desat just did my personal best. But here comes Hibbs. Any improvement? Hibbs takes pole position. Hibbs steals it right at the end. Can he go for another lap and improve? But he does a 23.8. Hibbs is done. Snide does not improve. And John Goudet is going to be having to try and use this one lap. This is do or die. Robert Ramsell now. He will sneak another lap in. But Hibbs for the Greasy Bandits Racing has taken pole position here. Can he hang in there? It's Robert Ramsell now. No improvement. 1 lap to go for him. Wolski is done. Then we look to the limiter. Currently half a second off the pace, but Hibbs right at the very end there, stealing pole position. Limiter will get another lap in. Who is that? That is Sam, I believe, or Fat Bloke. It was Sam, and I think he managed to sneak another lap in. Yes, he did. So Sam is now going to be on another lap, but he's bailed already. He's made a mistake. So we look to Beck, currently in 16th place position. Can he improve? No, he does not. P4 at number 4, that is Taylor. He can't improve either. John Goudet's on a lap. He's run a little bit wide, but we look towards the front once again. That is the 557 of Ben. He doesn't improve. John Goudet doesn't improve. He is done for this session. And Brian Craig there jumping up to the 20th position there. A very fast, intense qualifying session there. 4-1-8. That is Flores. He's now coming out of the final corner. I believe Ramsell is still on a lap. Flores comes to the line. He does not improve. Ramsell is on a lap though. Is this going to be pole position? Has he found those magical 3/10 that he needed? Here comes Ramsell. He takes pole right at the very end. Robert Ramsell takes pole position here at SimPlay Motorsport for the feature race right at the very end. Robert Ramsell on pole position. From down to Robert Ramsell all the way down to 19th place position is separated by a second. Wow. And I've lost my voice already, and I've still got an hour-long race to go. Guys, if you think that was an amazing qualifying session, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. What a lap there from Robert Ramsell right at the end. What a tight pack we have got here. Fantastic, and I can't even predict who's going to take pole position, take the win, sorry, in this one. We do know who's took pole position, and that was Robert Ramsell. What a lap right at the very end. That was kind of like what I do in the end, just last minute go for a lap and see what happens. But what a fantastic qualifying session that is. Reminder, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified for all the action here. And obviously a reminder as well, I will get the screen up in a minute, but obviously towards the end of this season, the May bank holiday weekend, we have got our one and only endurance race that is confirmed. We are going to be doing 24 hours around the Nordschleife, the green hell, as we'll be fighting not only the track, but obviously we'll be fighting against the horrible disease and the horrible thing that is cancer. And obviously Paul Williams is a massive a part of this win. And here is your promotion page, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring, the bank holiday weekend in May, special event with FPR coming together with SimPlay Racing, and we are going to fight against cancer as we do 24 hours around the Nordschleife. All drivers must be running at least a pink livery, so we can obviously fight towards the horribleness of that is breast cancer. So please, guys, make sure you stay involved in that, as we'll be doing this event right towards the end of the season. It is going to be an amazing one as well. Get your team sorted, get everyone together, because it is going to be a great cause. Obviously, a lot of the commentators will be pretty much up for 36 hours for that race, and trust me, I might be dead after that qualifying session, not just obviously racing for 24 hours. Reminder as well, if you are a part of SimPlay Racing and you want to be a part of the Patreon, then have a look at our Patreon page as well, where you can sign up for £3 a month and you reserve your race number, so no one can ever take your race number. For example, my race number is 16 and no one can use that other than myself. Priority access events for sign-ups and so on, so you get the priority, you'll be first in line, and also track suggestions towards the future seasons, pre-season promo images as well if you wish, and also your driver streams and everything will be automatically posted in the Discord as well. So make sure you do all those wonderful things. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, Twitter, you know, get your cat to follow the stream, get everyone around into this channel as well, and we'll see about that. Obviously, Peaceful in the chat saying I might even do the 24 hours on my own can cause a cause close on my heart. So yeah, obviously I believe Peaceful has a lot to do with it as well. Bob got the right idea, definitely need a bigger one for this race. Edge of the chair ready to go. Bob, this is intense. I'm going to need a bigger split on this one. This is going to be intense. 1 hour race, so it's got a long way to go. Qualify a pit stop as well. But this time round it is not BMW 1-2. It's Ferrari versus McLaren. It is Robert Ramsell versus Hibbs on the front row. Greasy Bandits Racing versus Cam Racing. Who's going to come out on top? This is exciting. This is dramatic. This is SimPlay Motorsport. Hit that like button. And we now wait as all the drivers get themselves in a 2x2 formation. Ferrari on pole. Who's going to take the feature win here tonight? Get your votes in as we are now going to be waiting for the green here for the final time for the Pro-Ams this evening. Who's it going to be? Ferrari versus McLaren. And we are green and go, and Klaas is into the pit lane straight away for some reason. Possibly hasn't got enough fuel, but Robert Ramsell goes into turn number 1 as Hibbs tries to go around the outside, and Hibbs has possibly got the job done, but Robert Ramsell will have the inside for turn number 2 of Druids, and Hibbs is still there side by side as they go through the hairpin, and Hibbs will have the inside then for Graham Hill Benz, and that is where Robert Ramsell will lose the lead as everyone else works their way through, and Klaus goes through the pit lane for some reason, possibly opting to stay out of the trouble, possibly hoping there was going to be accidents, but it is Robert Ramsell leading, sorry, not Robert, Hibbs leading the way as Snai has gone side by side with John Goudet here. But Robert Ramsell now coming back on the attack of Hibbs on the inside, and Ramsell decides better of it, pulls out of that one, and the top 5, well, the whole entire pack following one another as they go through the far end of the circuit. There's a lot of cars off further back. We have all sorts of chaos here. We have a DJ Phil and Mustang. We also have Duckegg. Johnson, I think, got involved in that by the looks of things. Who's that as well at the back? Is that Sam, one of your top drivers from the first race? He's at the back of the pack. But it's Hibbs from Ramsell, from Goudet, from Snai, from Barclock, from Millington, from Wolski, Williams, Taylor, Argent, Verga, Limiter, Beck, Fernie, Batbloke, Besson, Flores, Saunders, Craig, Sturrock, Andrews has dropped right back, so Best is now up with Smith, Johnson, Greaves, Gasby, Lane, Tucker, Klaas, Duckhead, and Phil at the back of the pack as well. Oh, all sorts of chaos here. Snai, I think, it's been, no, it's not Snai, it was Wolski and Taylor have come together, and Wolski's dropped down the order, as has Taylor, as has Ramsell. So Ramsell's made a mistake somewhere and dropped down ahead of his teammate, but it's now a Greasy Bandits 1-2 with Hibbs leading away from Goudet, from Snai, from Ramsell, from Millington, from Barclock, from Argent, from Wolski, from Verga, from Limiter. What has happened to Ramsell there? Because he was fighting for second, he was fighting for the win, and he's dropped down to 4th now. That is a swig of my drink because I think I'm going to need it in this one. But Hibbs now trying to extend that gap. Possibly Goudet maybe playing a rear gunner now for Hibbs as they try and work their way from the pack. And Arjun, another good start from him. The two Stage 2 motorsport drivers sticking to one another, and can Beck have a better race this time round? Williams definitely had a great race. Majority of you reckon that Ramsell is going to win this one, and at the minute it's not looking that way because he's made a mistake, and Snai sets the fastest lap of this race. And where is everyone else? The 621, that was Klaas. He's went through the pits, so he's already cleared some cars by the looks of things, so he's on his way on the front of the lead, the back group. Right now they're all just stuck behind Benedict Varga, who's just made a move on Wolfski, so now he can try and hunt down the leaders. Track limits is going to be the problem as well, as Barclock has got Argent hunting him down in the Bentley, but Hibbs not really pulling away from Goudet nor Snai, so Snai's just there or thereabouts, and Ramsell just needs to stick to him, as Millington is probably going to be his rear gunner, as Barclock has got Argent to defend. Once again, Limiter is under a little bit of pressure from Beck. Well, both of them running a little bit wide down. A few drivers running wide, making a mistake through that sector. As we'll head towards the far end of the lap. All line is staying out in a minute. No one gone off at this right-hander just yet. A big part of the lap to go off. But Hibbs there, a little bit sloppy that lap. He's lost a little bit of time to Goudet. Hibbs goes fastest, Goudet goes even quicker. And that's the pace as Class there once again, I think, has been in the pits. Yes, he has, as has Taylor. Taylor's got some severe damage to the back end of his car. So good qualifying for him, but ended up down the order. And there, Barclock having to defend from Argent. Benedict Varga pulling away, and once again, Limiter defending from the onslaught of Stage 2 Motorsport. But there, Beck makes a slight mistake there. And that's just allowed Paul Williams just to get onto the back of him again, but he probably knows, look, you give it a good shot first, bud, and then if you can't get it through, then I will obviously then give it a crack myself. But at the minute, all line is staying at the minute, as Betson having a much better race as well. He's onto the back of these McLaren drivers, but Beck had a great run through that left-hander, and he's right on the back of the Porsche. Nowhere to go through. Meanwhile, Wolfski's had a big moment. He's trying to keep it out of the wall. He's gone right off, and he has managed to keep it out of the wall, and he's spun round, but he's going to have to wait for the entire pack to get going before he can return back onto the circuit. But it's Hibbs from Goudet from Snai, who has dropped off the back of the leaders at this stage. Oh no, Goudet's touched the grass. He's gone round, and he is in a really bad position there. John Goudet has made an error that's absolutely ruined his race here, and he has to wait, and oh, he's caught the car. He has caught Steve Beck. And Steve Beck's race goes from even worse this evening. Started off really well in this race. He's returned back to the pits, and John Goudet, silly error there, dropped the rear. And John Goudet now out of a podium contention here, possibly got damage as well. He has got managed going again. It's ahead of Smith, but Best now in that 16th place position. He's under a little bit of pressure from Fernie by the looks of things. But Barclock here seems to have dropped Argent. Argent's not on the back of him. Barclock is now chasing Millington and Ramsell. Ramsell now up into that third place position that he lost earlier on. And already the drama has commenced here. Luke Saunders now seems to be onto the back of this group that seems to be led by still the Limiter, who's actually pulled a little bit of a gap from Williams there as they all try to negotiate the stricken Aston Martin of John Goudet. As Beck managed to come back out, no, he's still in the pits. So either he's got major damage or he's opted to retire. There is a car off. That is the 43 of Fernie, and he's got damage to the front end of his car. As they all get going. Well, oh, and more damage. Oh, Best Michael. Who is that as well? That's Johnson there. Who else is there? That's Smith. There's Fernie. There's all sorts of chaos there. Best has got going again. What on earth has happened here? I'm not sure what happened there, but Smith is in the wall and can't get going. He's returned to the pits, and Goudet's ended up in more incidences here. Hibbs, though, leads the race from Snai, ahead of Ramsell, ahead of Millington, who's got Barclock hunting him down hard, and Benedict Vargas giving Argent a bit of a headache as well. And then you got that train behind the Porsche of the Limiter. But yeah, obviously not sure what on earth just happened there. caught the back end of it, and there was cars off everywhere. Snai, meanwhile, has caught onto the back of Hibbs already. We've got lapped cars. That is Duckhead getting out of the way. Now, Hibbs obviously will try and focus on keeping his lap times consistent. Millington, meanwhile, under pressure from Barclay. Meanwhile, Benedict Varga looked to make a move on Argent, and he managed to get the cut back and a swoop underneath, and Argent made the mistake going deep into turn one. They come close to one another, but they managed to keep it together. As Betterson now goes off wide. He has to be careful when he rejoins. Can he manage to do so quite cleanly? As through goes Paul Williams, and there as well goes through Flores as well. But Hibbs and Snai close together once again. 0.6 is the gap. Ramsell in third. Millington, though, still under some immense pressure here from Barclay, who's looking to try and make a move. Argent possibly pushing a little bit too hard, ran a little bit wide by the looks of things, just trying to regain that position back on Ben. And through the right-hander they go on. Barclay goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Millington a little bit of breathing room. Limiter now still under pressure from Paul Williams, who's not really allowed him to disappear. Flores with Betterson right behind him, and John Goudet just trying to recover by the looks of things. Smith in the pits. Beck has got going again, so nice to see him continuing on. Obviously, if these guys do retire, they get a qualifying ban for the next race of the championship. So if they do retire, they will be serving that at Spa. They have still got time to recover. Stay strong indeed, and Hibbs has to stay strong now because he's got the BMW hunting him down. Meanwhile, Millington has held everyone up a little bit, and that's going to allow Benedict Varga and Argent to be interested in this fight once again. So we've got another four-way fight. This time it's Millington sending it through. Benny in the chat, good morning everyone from across the pond here in the land down under. I hope the first race has gone well and enjoyable and no major incidents. Well, you might want to re-watch the stream, buddy, because there's been absolute chaos throughout the night. Anything and everything has happened, I think, in this race. The only thing we need now is a car to roll or flip, basically, and then we would have had the whole shebang, I think. But Millington now under he's now the truly trained for the feature race. As Barclay trying to find a crack, an opportunity to get past, but he can't do so. Meanwhile, Snai has caught Hibbs. And through turn one, there you go. Hibbs, can he handle the pressure? We'll have to come back to him a little bit later on, because Barclay is looking to make a move on Millington in turn number one. And he can't quite get the overlap, but made a mistake there, did Benedict Varga, but he's not been compromised too much by Argent now. Argent's not able to attack him. The limiter starting to work his way to the back of this group as well. So where he was under pressure earlier on, he's now looking to give pressure to the guys in front. Snai still trying to find a move on the McLaren driver of Hibbs, but can't do so at the minute. Can we have another night where we have two different winners? We had that last night in the GT4s, with Tordock and Friedman both taking wins under the Porsche name. But oh, there's a car off by the sounds of things. I think it's the Lamborghini of Kane. Yes, it is. He gets out of the way as the leaders work their way through. Ramsell now. Oh, Ramsell gets close to him and then he makes contact. Now this is the group of cars we have to worry about, and Paul Williams meanwhile has cleared the limiter, so maybe the limiter has made a mistake, but Paul Williams now is ahead of him and working his way to the guys in front. It is now Fat Bloke's turn to have a go. Can he do anything about the Porsche driver? Class in the middle of him, but he is a lap down, but it's Hibbs still from Snai, and Stephen Millington has actually pulled away from Barclay, who's trying to fend off Benedict Varga. The Hungarian looking to hold and find a position on the Ferrari driver. And there again, you can just see up ahead is the the Lamborghini of Kane, just trying to stay out of the way. There's a car in the pit lane. That's the 53. That is DJ Phil. He's in the pits for some reason. The DJ Phil in the pits. Oh, as looks like Benedict Varga and Argent have come together, and right in the middle of everyone else. Kane's obviously been involved in this as well, and they've all somehow managed to avoid him. Argent has got going, but everyone seems to have been caught up there, and Saunders has been involved. He's had the front end of that car damaged, as Benedict Varga has got going. What state is Lane's car in? As he's trying to get himself going. I think he's got a bit of damage. Well, it looks relatively fine. A little bit of scuff marks here and there, but he's right in the middle of the circuit. Meanwhile, Hibbs is under pressure from Sny again as they head towards turn number 1. Robert Ramsell just trying to get into a groove and try and catch him as best he can at this stage. So where John Goudet made the mistake earlier on, he could earn some points here. As the top two work their way through, Ramsell in third. And now it's just Millington versus Barkla for that 4th place position. Cam Racing earning some big points here at the minute. And it's then Paul Williams in that 6th place ahead of Limiter. That bloke, Argent's lost out to, no, that's Stephen Beck. He's a lap down. Flores up into 10th. And Saunders and Benedict Varga having to both come into the pits with that damage, and obviously that's allowing the likes of John Goudet and the rest of the guys who have been caught up in a little bit of strays. Oh, there goes a car wide. That is Paul Williams. He's made a mistake, and the limiter has now got him. And now Fat Bloke gets past as well. Argent not close enough to be a part of this fight either. So limiter gaining a position. Ben in the chat saying, come on, obviously something has whatever the incident is, obviously he'll have to put a ticket in, and that's how the system works here at SimPlay Motorsport. The drivers feel like they've been hard done by, and they want the stewards to look at, oh, Fat Bloke's made a mistake. Fat Bloke's gone wide. That's going to allow Paul Williams back through, and Argent just slowly working his way onto the back of these cars. Sny, meanwhile, is up the inside of turn number 1. Hibbs holding on to that position, defending the inside. He's got to make sure he doesn't go too deep into the hairpin. And Hibbs there just holding on to the race lead as we're watching other fights commence, as Paul Williams now still ahead of Beck, who's kind of in this middle fight at the minute. He's trying to work his way up the order. Duckhead is a bit ahead of him, but if he keeps going as it is, and Williams lets him through. So Stephen Beck lets him through, even though he's in the middle of a fight. He's allowing his teammate to go through. Meanwhile, Barclay once again right on the rear wing of Stephen Millington, and trying to find a way through on the Ferrari versus Ferrari. They get really close to the back end of Millington. Once again, Sny not quite close enough this time round. Him possibly a little bit off the pace this time round on Hibbs, and Hibbs has got him covered. Where's this load of cars? We've got Fat Bloke going side by side with Argent. Argent looking to the outside, not going to do it there, but he goes for the undercut as Fat Bloke goes a little bit wide. And up the inside goes Argent. He touches the grass a little bit, and Fat Bloke gives him the space, but he comes underneath. He's going to be on the outside, and Argent touching the grass there, and Argent just has to fall in position and try again on Fat Bloke. Good racing from those two. What else is going on? Gatsby's got Michael right behind him with, I believe, Sam. Oh, no, Sam's nowhere near that. Sam's obviously had a bad race too in this one. Who's up ahead of him? John Goudet. He's had a little moment. Brian Craig also up kicking the dirt. So John Goudet's worked himself up into that 14th place position. It's Hibbs and Sny leading the way. Millington's pulled a little bit of a gap on Barclay. But it's now this Fat Bloke versus Argent fight, and that's obviously levelled out as well as we now look towards the pit stops. As we go back to Gadsby versus Johnson. I think this pretty much your closest fight at the minute. Millington and Barclay also your closest fight. Reminder, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. Matthew Duffin and Kelly Davis in the commentary box tomorrow night for the Pro category. We've had GT4s, we've had Pro-Am, we're building up the pace, and now we head to the fastest group, the Pro group. How will they get on at the Brands Hatch circuit? Barclock, meanwhile, closer to the back of Millington, but not quite close enough at the minute. We will go back to Gadsby and Johnson. Johnson, that GTR looking to make a move. The GTR making quite a strong comeback here in SimPlay. We got two, I believe, in this championship, and I know we got one for sure in the Pro category as well. So it's nice to see the variety of different cars. No Lexus on the grid, which is a bit of a shock to me. Obviously, Lexus looked very strong in myself and Harris's hands. Maybe some people would have given it a go. Oh, who was that off? I think it was Luke Saunders. Yeah, he's had a moment. Where is Fernie? He's gone through, and Benedict Varga not quite close enough. So Luke Saunders goes through. But once again, we go back to your Gadsby versus Michael fight. And they can't find a way through at the minute. And Michael looking to go around the outside at Graham Hill Bend, tries to come underneath. Now, meanwhile, in the middle of all this is Fernie, who's looking to try and find a way through. And Fernie actually is a lap down, I believe. Yes, he is. So he should allow these guys to just keep on fighting as Johnston's going to run on the outside. Is that the job done? As Gadsby just gives him enough room, and here comes Fernie. While these two are fighting, Fernie's coming up the inside, and Gadsby's lost out not just to Johnson there, but he's also lost momentum as a lapped car laps him. Unlaps himself, sorry. And Fernie now back ahead. Meanwhile, Ramsell has made a mistake. Robert Ramsell has made a mistake. He's dropped behind Barclock. He's dropped behind Millington and Barclock, so that third place position was looking strong, and he has dropped down the order. As down the straight, there you go. That looks like, I don't know if it's Craig or Tucker just trying to stay out of the way there as the leaders work their way through. But it is, just one of the drivers just being held up there behind Ramsell, the limiter. Meanwhile, it's got Paul Williams still hunting him down. These two have really had a great little scrap, I believe. Oh, no, it's not. That's Steve Beck, sorry, trying to unlap himself from the limiter. So the limiter just holding up Steve Beck, who wants to unlap him. If I was the limiter, I'd let him go. Let him go, because he's in a minute. He's going to possibly maybe miss his brakes and make contact with him. But John Andrews trying to stay out of the way. Stephen Millington, Barclock and Ramsell goes through the three Ferraris, the three leading Ferraris, all following one another. The limiter still has a lapped car between himself and Paul Williams, so that's actually helping him more than anything. And Fat Bloke in that P8 position. Argent currently lead going round. He's a couple of positions ahead, a couple of seconds, sorry, ahead of Flores, as Goudet has made a couple of places, as has Wolfsky, because Starrock has dropped down the order. Starrock has dropped the order as Craig is in 15th. He's now got Johnson breathing down his neck, and he's still got Fernie breathing down him as well. So Fernie going with these lot and trying to unlap himself. Snide, meanwhile, is back on the rear wing of Hibbs. A little bit of dirt kicked up ahead of them. There's a couple of cars ready to lap for these boys. But Hibbs, once again, doing everything he can just to keep his head cool. And Barclock was on the back of Millington, but now he's got pressure from Ramsell as he heads to turn number one. And Hibbs has gone wide. Hibbs has made a mistake. That's going to allow Snide up the inside. Hibbs has to give him racing room. He's going to hold it around the outside. He worked on this at Ramsell earlier on. He holds the outside, who will have the inside going into Graham Hill Bend. Snide knows this, but wants to have a better exit. And Snide can't get that job done. Top 20 for Bestie, says Racer in the chat. He is just in that top 20 at this minute, and he's about to get lapped from the leaders. And Barclough there dropping down a little bit from Millington as Ramsell's trying to hunt him down. Meanwhile, Fat Bloke, that's the limiter, I think. He's made a mistake or has come together with possibly Steve Beck, maybe. There's a car off just ahead. There's all sorts of cars off. But Fat Bloke looking up the inside of the limiter. Is he going to get his nose up alongside? There's also John Andrews just in the middle of this fight. Oh, and comes close to hitting Argent. Andrews just needs to back out of that one and allow the leaders through. And Argent now just trying to hold on to the back of these guys. Paul Williams, where is he? There he is. He's obviously cleared a car. That is Steve Beck. And now he's passed a car. I'm not sure who he is overtaken. Possibly a lapped car or a slow-moving car. That is Tucker, I believe, with front-end damage. But Sny's still putting pressure on. Here's a lot going on here. I can't quite keep up to date. Millington, though, has pulled away from Barclough as he's under pressure from Ramsell. The limiter, meanwhile, still defending from Fat Bloke, and Fat Bloke up the inside. Later on the brakes, they make contact. They both go off. Argent sliding, trying to keep the Bentley under control. He manages to do so, and I think that was a little bit rude from Fat Bloke, giving a shove past there. But he has gained that position. Flores now just joining onto the back of these guys. And this is where it is going to get very interesting. The pit window has now opened. And Fat Bloke trying to now chase down his good friend Paul Williams. Argent up into the top 8 now. And Flores now onto the back of the limiter. Reminder to all the drivers as well, if you want a steward to look at the incident, then feel free to fill out the ticket system. Try and avoid having a fight in the Discord and keep it as clean as possible. Hibbs, that is a shock there. Early pit stop for Hibbs. He's coming straight away. That's giving Sny a little bit of free air as Millington allows Ramsell through. Where is Barclough? He's made a mistake as he's trying to work his way onto the back of the Ferrari. So either he's made a mistake or had contact with someone, and Ramsell now been let through by Millington. I think Hibbs has made a mistake here pitting this early. You react to what your rival's doing, and he's gone too early, I think, personally. Argent goes in, as has the limiter and a few others. Sam's in, Best is in, Tucker is in, Andrews, Duckhead, Smith, and we have all sorts of drivers coming in as Hibbs has now gone green. So any fights going on at the minute. Not the only ones on circuit was Craig and Gasby. They've now been cleared as they now all pit. And really the fight was the two at Cam Racing duo, but they're not really racing each other. They've kind of got a strategy going on here at this stage. And Ramsell is now ahead. When does Sny pit? Obviously earlier on he chose to go as long as he possibly can, and he will be doing it. He's got clean air. This is the problem that Hibbs has allowed him to do. He's given him the clean air. If he starts pumping in fast lap times, that is it. He's going to be doing a whole lot of work. Where is Hibbs? There he is. He's luckily got a little bit of clean air. So that's kind of worked out for him. The limiter out of the pits. There's Argent coming out as well. I believe Argent... no, he wasn't ahead of the limiter. The limiter is behind, and that was Barclough coming through. Yeah, so the leaders are working their way through now. So it's going to be very difficult to understand where people are at this stage as Paul Williams is now into the pits. Best has not done his stop. He has not added the fuel. As can the two Cam Racing duos work their way back up the order. We're coming up to the halfway stage of this race. A majority reckon that Hibbs is going to win this one. 14 votes going that way. Who else is coming to the pits? Goudet has come into the pits, and he's just got to hope for a decent stop here. Benedict Varga also in. Starrock also in as well. Andrews is still in with major damage to the front end of his car. as you all try and get their pit stops done and dusted. There is a car off. I believe that is the... what is that car? 53. That is DJ Phil. He has gone off. He has gone round. He's trying to get it going once again, and he manages to do so. John Goudet still holds fastest lap of this race. As he'll slide into turn number 1. So at the minute, all the gaps are all over the shot due to pit stops and cars that are lapped down at the minute. But it is Sny who's leading the way. And this gives me a great opportunity, guys, to say, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. You do want to be a part of the action, you like what you see here, then head over to our sim grid and our Discord and get yourself signed up, do the hot stints so you can be a part of the GT4 action, and obviously the Pro-Am and Pro will put you in the correct category once you've done our hot stints. And then once you've done those hot stints, we will get you in and racing here at SimPlay. Quite a big grid as well at the moment. Reminder as well, tomorrow night will be Kelly Davis and Matthew Duffin, Sweet and Sticky, back in your box. Sny opts to pit. He's not using the whole time this time round, so this should be interesting where Hibbs comes out in this. He's got a little bit of clean air as well, as John Goudet is behind him, so any threat from behind can kind of hold him up ever so slightly. But Sweet and Sticky are back in your box tomorrow night. There is a car off in the middle sector. That is, I think it's the 7, I'm not sure what car that was, the 741. I think that was Barclock. I think he's had a moment and he's dropped further back. So Sny's in, Millington is in, Ramsell's opted to stay out. So where's Hibbs? There he is. He's coming through as Saunders gets a stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. But Hibbs has possibly, I think, changed tyres. He's quite a way back from Sny. Sny's in the pits as well, so will he change tyres as well? He's now gone green, and Hibbs is in the final corner. Has he proven me wrong? Has he played a blinder here as Sny now comes off the limiter? I've ended up on the wrong driver, and Hibbs has jumped Sny. Or stayed ahead at least, and he has kept that gap, and he's actually quite a bit ahead, and Sny now got a bit of John Goudet behind him to hold him up ever so slightly, and Fernie is going to try and send it up the inside of John Goudet as well, who's, like I said, he's still a lap down on him, so Fernie really should just stay in line. He's trying to catch Luke Saunders, who has got a penalty to his name, but he'll have to serve that in a few moments' time. Tucker is right behind Fernie, actually, so there's a fight going on there. Oh, and Fernie goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Tucker to get a little bit closer, have a sniff up an opportunity. So Ramsell comes through the first corner, and he's still ahead of, still yet to pit. Millington stayed ahead of Fat Bloke Limiters there, and Paul Williams. Where is Paul Williams? He's dropped down the order. He's behind Argent, and Gadsby now goes green as well. So Johnson's going to get past him as well. So Paul Williams has lost positions here. Flores has had a brilliant race so far. Stayed out of trouble, kept it together, and he is in the pit stops now. And Wolfsky also coming in for his stop. It's just Robert Ramsell and Steve Beck to make their stops. And Beck is in the top 30. Obviously, due to the way our championship works and obviously the way we've grown over the years, we've only really given points all the way down to P30. And obviously, starting the season, we weren't expecting so many drivers. So points are only awarded to the top 30 cars. So Beck getting in the top 30 is crucial. So Sny here is under a little bit of pressure from John Goudet. Obviously, Goudet can't just lunge on him. He can't overtake him or anything like that. He has to abide to the blue flag rules. And right now, Sny is probably looking more in his rearview mirror than trying to catch Hibbs. And Hibbs trying to pull away as finally Flores and Wolfsky get going. Where is Argent? And Flores is going to jump him as well. So does he jumps Barclock as well. Wolfsky is going to jump Argent as well. So once again, a few of the guys just dropping down the order. And Robert Ramsell's risking another lap here once again. As long as he gets in the pit lane before the pit window closes, then he's all good. Oh, Betterson's made a mistake, and that's going to allow Gadsby up the inside. And up a position he goes, the Mustang driver, through he goes. And now as everyone gets back into their rhythms after their pit stops, and this is where it all works out. Argent now trying to catch Wolski. Wolski holding on in that BMW. And Ramsell has to pit this lap. If he does not pit this lap, then it's going to hurt him massively. That bloke quietly minding his own business in this one, currently P5 ahead of the limiter. But where is Ramsell? There he is. And he comes into the final corner now. Pit window is about to close, and he has to stop this lap, and he is in. So we'll see where all this pans out. Argent, meanwhile, is on the back of Wolski. Can he find a way past? He's looking left, he's looking right. He's looking for every opportunity, and he's going to try around the outside. Worked once, I don't think it's going to work again. Oh, he's going to go up the inside, up towards Druids, and Wolski really turns in on me on the brake here, but Argent gets the job done. And I think Wolski was a bit rude there. He did really close the door on Argent there, not really giving him the racing room he needed, and Wolski gets on that curb and goes wide. Done that a few times. Betterson not able to stick with Gadsby, and Gadsby pulling away. Now it's Barclark chasing Flores. Mac in the chat saying, don't get much better than this. It has been crazy, it's been dramatic, and like I said, just you wait till tomorrow night when the pros hit the circuit as well. They're also going to be at it as hard as they can. Paul Williams has made a mistake. He's ended up dropped behind Argent and in front of Wolski as well. So, yeah, Paul Williams making that mistake. So Argent gets himself back into the top 10. And just as he does so, he gains another position with it. Snide, meanwhile, can't get with Hibbs. He can't keep with that pressure as John Goudet has properly dropped off the back of Snide, and Snide pulls away. Meanwhile, Barclark is now attacking Flores as they head towards turn number 1. And Flores just has a better run through turn number 1, pulls away from the Ferrari driver. And this is your closest fight on circuit at this precise stage. Not else much really going on. Barclark looked to the inside there. He's not going to get a good exit though. Flores will get a better exit. And down towards the right-hander they go. The Lamborghini of Lane gets out of the way. Onto the gravel he goes. And he gets going once again. And Barclark looking to try and pressurize the Aston Martin into a mistake. But Flores doing a great job. That Aston Martin very stable, very consistent. He's got a little bit deep there, suffering a little bit of understeer. Oh, that is DJ Phil facing the wrong way once again. If he can get himself going, that would be fantastic. We'll go and have a look at how Phil is getting on with that. He has got going. Possibly struggling in this Audi. And we was watching the Barclark Flores fight. Up towards the hairpin they go once again. But Flores holds the position. Barclark can't seem to get a mistake out of him at this stage of this race. Oh, but Barclark has had a great run through Graham Hill Bend. Is this the opportunity he needs? Up the inside. And through he goes. Flores is going to try and come back underneath, try and get the better run. He has got a better run. He's right on the rear wing of the Ferrari, but I don't think it's enough. I think he's just got enough of a grunt there, has the Ferrari driver at Barclark, as they head towards the fast right-hander. And no, and Barclark hangs on to that position. And a great move done there by him to get past Flores. through the right-hander of Sheen Curve into Sterling's bend, trying to get a good run down toward Clearways and the Clarker curve. And once again, Barclark just pulling away from Flores there. Meanwhile, Hibbs is still leading this race, but his gap has come down to Snai. The big gap that's come down is Robert Ramsdell. It was 11 seconds before the pit stops. It is now, once he goes through this sector, 8 seconds. So he has brought the gap down. But is it enough, though? Will the leaders start to fight? He's got 20 minutes to try and get onto the back of him. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. All the other gaps are quite big. So right now, Hibbs and Sai going at it at the minute. 9:10 Snai has been bringing that gap down. Robert Ramsdell, meanwhile, 8 seconds was the gap. What's it going to be? 8.5. So Snai has been flying at the minute. So I think Ramsdell has been matching Hibbs in front, but Snai's that last lap was very competitive there, and he's now looking to get back onto the McLaren's terms once again. Has Hibbs got enough left in the tank to defend and hold on to that position? That is the question. As they work their way through the final few corners here. Hibbs there looking to hold on to that position. Meanwhile, John Goudet, I think, has had a mistake somewhere, because he's now got Brian Craig. Oh, Brian Craig has now cleared Fernie. Oh, and Fernie's, I think, he's just giving him a love tap there. So it's just as Brian Craig was getting onto terms with John Goudet, he's lost time. They've got Robert Ramsdell, though, coming up fast behind them, and he clears the traffic. And here we go. Hibbs is now starting to get pressure from Snai again. And into Paddock Hill Bend they go. Snai half a second now separates him and the win. And it has been great action here. I think Lexi's going to have a great season watching these guys race here, because it has already been dramatic in this one. Let's go Hibbs, push into a fumes, he says in the chat from oh god, Menanto, yeah, Menanto, probably got that. I probably ruined that, but yeah, he's pushing Hibbs right to the very end. Is Snai, and he's going to give him a lot of pressure towards the end of this race. I think this is Hibbs' first appearance here at SimPlay Motorsport as well, so he's been in a couple of fun events as well, so we'll see how he gets on towards this season. But Snai, also a new driver himself. Oh, he's made a mistake actually, because Hibbs has pulled away a bit and possibly ran a little bit wide in the dirt, and Snai has to regroup and go again. Meanwhile, Ramsdell just not been able to go with these guys, and possibly again just off the pace of Hibbs. He kind of needs them to get held up by the traffic a little bit. They've coming up to Benedict Varga. 2.1 is the gap. That's the mistake that Snai made and allowed Hibbs to pull away. There is Ramsdell. Yeah, the gap has come down to Snai, but not to Hibbs. So Hibbs has now suddenly hit another gear as well. Another close fight is Andrews versus Cranky Darkhead, but Darkhead is off and has got himself back on track. He stay out of the way, which he does so. I think a lot of these drivers are going to be happy to be leaving Brands Hatch and heading to Spa-Francorchamps, which will be the next round of the season. Betterson is in the pits. Why is he in the pits? Has he got major damage, or has he got fuel? He has been released, so we'll see what's happened there. But Hibbs still leading the way at this stage. As he heads through Westfield down into Dingledale up towards Sheen Curve, just keeping that gap to his rival behind Benedict Vargas at a moment. He's hit the wall. and he's managed to stay to the inside of the circuit and just waiting for that gap to appear. He's possibly found it, but there's another car off. That is Best. He's had a moment, and they've got going. Best trying to return back to the second, but there's a lot of cars coming through, and he manages to do so. There goes Millington, I think that was. Yes, it was. Taking a wider berth there, as once again Snai has brought the gap back down. 1.5 is the gap, but he can't make too many mistakes here. Flores, meanwhile, is starting to get some pressure from Arjun. Arjun's bringing that gap down. Paul Williams also trying to chase Arjun as well. Wolfski's not too far behind either. As I'll be trying to get a driver of the day going here, because it's been an awesome night's worth of racing. Obviously, if you guys don't agree with the drivers that I've selected, you can put in your own opinion in the chat. Who do you think driver of the day is? But what a great start to the season. And Argent is pretty much there with Flores, but we go back to your leaders. Snai has caught Hibbs once again, and is really starting to try and put pressure on him once again. And there is Snai right behind. Is there anything he can do at this stage? Has to be him best, says Fraser in the chat. And there's Snai right on the rear wing now of Hibbs. Can Hibbs absorb this pressure? Jamal Clan saying, go on Hibbs as well, you're a pro driver. Fraser, O'Brien and Clouden in the chat there, both supporting the Pro-Ams, which is nice to see. And Snai's gone wide, he's made a mistake. And once again, Hibbs vantage him as he tries to pull away. Flores now is under pressure from Arjun, but Arjun's lost momentum and time, and he's now started to be chased by Paul Williams as well. Where is Wolfski? He's dropped off a little bit as well, so Arjun gained the type on Flores, but has lost it all there, as Luke Saunders just in the way at the moment. Paul Williams clears Saunders as well. John Goulet still got that fastest lap to his name, so he's pretty much held that all race long. And what would have been like if he hadn't gone wide at this very corner. If he hadn't made that mistake, we could have been talking about a very different fight going on here. And I say, oh, and Snai's made a mistake once again. Pushing too hard now, you can see there. And Robert Ramsell's lost time as well. He was gaining, he was 8 seconds behind. He's back to 11.4. So either the top two has just ramped it up a little bit, or he's just struggling towards the end of this race. And Snai going through Cooper Straight towards Surtees. He's got a lot of work to do once again. 13 minutes, there's still time, it's still doable, but he needs to just clear his head. Argent now onto the back of Flores. But Argent again starting to look in his mirrors. He's possibly got Williams right behind him. Hibbs absorbing the pressure like a sponge, says Mark in the chat. Yes, he is. He's doing a fantastic job of absorbing that pressure. But as we all know, anything can happen. Meanwhile, Fat Bloke has lost a little bit of pace here to the limiter and bar clock. They're starting to catch Fat Bloke back up again, and they got all sorts of cars in between, and they got Starrock and Best in the middle of all this. And there, look, Barclock had a great run through into the GP loop, and the limiter having to defend there as they go into the fast right-hander. And Barclock looking left, looking right, trying to find an opportunity through. He can't find it at this stage. Right now, the limiter absorbing all this pressure from Barclock. What else going on? Paul Williams has cleared Argent, so Argent's lost that position. So as Argent was starting to put the pressure on Flores, Flores has gone deep. He's made a mistake. Here comes Argent and Paul Williams. He's going to be under immense pressure here as Barclock looking to make a move on turn number 1 on the limiter. He's not quite close enough there and has to hold position. Meanwhile, Paul Williams up the inside of Flores, and towards the end of this race, everything's starting to happen once again. And Argent having to try and fight as best he possibly can here, but he's just making a few little errors here and there, and Paul Williams gains 2 positions out of that. So Paul Williams working his way back up the order. As Barclock, meanwhile, has still got the limiter right in front of him. So Stardar Barclock really trying his very best. He's had quite a decent night's worth of racing. Been in the top 10 pretty much all night long. It is completely changed up and down this order. And Barclock there can't find a way through as he goes through the fast right-hander. Paul Williams has pulled on Flores. Argent's now onto the back of the Aston Martin. Can he find a way through? No, he can't. Barclock, meanwhile, still on the rear wing. With 10 minutes left to go, can Barclock get himself into the top 6? The limiter doing everything he possibly can to defend off the cars behind. Argent, has he got Flores? No, he hasn't. Barclock there. Still not got an opportunity to get past the Porsche. The Porsche will be struggling with the rear end. Yeah, he has dropped another A10. Snai has not really got the pace here. As Ramsell now just not been able to stick with him. Millington in a solid 4th place. That bloke has, with these two fighting hard, has pulled away from him. And Argent still trying to find a way through on Flores. And Wolfski's now coming middle there. And there's loads of traffic as well. So a lot of traffic here at Spa-Francorchamps, Brands Hatch. Hopefully we won't have this issue when we go to Spa, as it's a much, much bigger circuit. But Barclock and the limiter putting on a fabulous show at the minute. And there you see the limiter knows he's under a bit of a threat here from Barclock, moving around to make sure he defends from the Ferrari driver. Down towards turn number 1. There you go. The good thing about the Porsche, it's very good in the traction zones, and it's saving him for the traction zones and get a good exit. But it is also very slow in a straight line compared to the rest, as Barclock looks to the inside, can't get the job done. Meanwhile, Flores and Argent and Wolfski all close together once again. Can Wolfski get himself in the top 10? And I think at the minute, as you're all saying in the chat, Snai just kind of holding position, or is he? He looks like he's coming back for some more. As I am currently typing out a driver of the day, I am also going to try and get into the commentary box for the Discord, so I can possibly speak to a couple of drivers, if I possibly can. But Flores there still defending heavily there, and there is your poll. Obviously, if you don't agree with me, feel free to put whoever you think deserves it. And the limiter there, he's made a mistake somewhere, and Barclock's going around the outside. They're side by side, heading towards the final corner. The Ferrari up the inside, but the limiter's going to fight it out as best he can. He gets better grip, he gets better traction, and he will go staying alongside the Ferrari. They're wheel to wheel, down towards turn number 1 they go, and the Porsche with the better traction, staying ahead, but the Ferrari up the inside gets the job done. He just needs to get it stopped, and Barclock gets the job done finally. He clears the Porsche. Can he hang in there as the limiter looks to the inside, but Barclock's like, no, you're not having that, mate. I've finally got through. As Argent now dropping off the back of Flores, and once again under pressure from Wolfski. So finally, Barclay has cleared the limiter. And Barclay is not held by his limiter no more. He is free to let the reins go. Meanwhile, Argent still under pressure from Wolski, who's right behind him. Best now looks like he's passed. Who's he racing? Betterson. He's getting close to Betterson as well. So great fight in the end for those. Oh, he's had a little bit of a wiggle there. But Wolski, oh, he's all over the curb there. Little mistake from him. Oh, car off in the gravel. Who is that? Who's slow? Oh, is that Paul Williams? Yes, it is. Paul Williams has made a mistake. And he has dropped behind. Oh, and Taylor's dropped it. So Paul Williams has dropped down the order. He's staying on the grass as Saunders goes through. What has happened to Williams? He was on the dirt for ages. Who has he dropped behind? Only those three drivers that were fighting. So what on earth happened to Williams there? A mistake from him has put him down the order. Snye, meanwhile, has brought the gap back down once again to 1.1, so maybe he hasn't quite given up at this stage. Maybe Hibbs had a couple of bad laps, but Robert Ramsdell not really been able to do anything to the leaders. Millington in a solid P4, so Cam Racing are going to be in a very comfortable position here in the points, and Fat Bloke has pretty much had it all his own way in that P5. A good race for Fat Bloke. Last time I commentated on Fat Bloke at Monza on my own, we were not discussing about good races. We were talking about how much he's not loving racing, and instead he must be loving it. Going to go and deliver his Big Mac to the team FBR. But Flores here, once again, got the Bentley of Argent, and trust me, that Bentley is menacing behind. Big brute of a car, the Boatley as we like to call it. And once again, Hibbs has responded to Snye, gained 2/10 of a second. And is trying to secure this win, and Argent's made a mistake there through the left-hander. And Wolski now on pressure. John Goudet, meanwhile, also has caught Gasby. So is John Goudet going to try and get himself into 13th place position? Flores and Wolski and Argent still going at it. Argent looking to turn number one. And not doable there. Can Fat Bloke keep the pressure of Barclay away just to the very end? Or Wolski has a moment, and Argent finally looks to the inside of Flores, but can't get the job done. Not far enough alongside. And the Aston Martin just hanging in there. Brilliant racing from these guys. As they go through the left-hand there, and Argent looking up the inside of Flores here. Is this finally the chance that Argent needed? And through he goes. Yes, it is. Argent has now moved himself up into 8th place position, and the limiter has pulled away. Now, can Wolski do anything about him? Can he get past the Aston Martin driver of Flores? That's the McLaren getting well out of the way of the fight. Brilliantly done there. And as I said, Barclay has been catching Fat Bloke rapidly here. And here we go again. Barclay is on the move. He's on the chase towards the end of this race, and he's on the back of Fat Bloke. Can the BMW driver hang in there? Come on, guys, get your votes in. If you don't agree with me, put your vote in the chat. As Fraser O'Brien has said, best for the driver of the day. And Fat Bloke defending heavily here from Barclay, and Barclay can't find a way through. Meanwhile, Flores has lost out to Argent, but Wolski's right there as well. Wolski looking to try and make a move, possibly at the hairpin. No, he's too far behind, as Barclay looked up the inside of Graham Hill Bend, but he's not quite close enough. But Fat Bloke's possibly gone a little bit wide there. Also, a massive remark to all the drivers for keeping within track limits. We've not had many drive-throughs here tonight, which is brilliant to see. But Barclay now on the back bumper of Fat Bloke. Can he find a way through? Also a reminder that Hibbs has lost a little bit of time from Snye again up at the front. Oh, what is happening? Argent's got back behind Flores, and Wolski's gone off. Where's Paul Williams? There he is. And Wolski's gone off. He needs to kind of return back on track as safely as possible. But Williams gains position, so does Johnson. And Argent there possibly made a mistake and allowed Flores back through. But here we go, Hibbs and Snai still going at it, and there's 9/10 separating, and Barclock makes a mistake and he's lost a little bit of time to Fat Bloke. So we go back to your top two. Get your votes, driver of the day. Currently we have 11 votes going at the moment, and there is 34 of you watching the stream. Come on, get your votes in for driver of the day. And into the final few corners, the final lap. These guys are going to start. Hibbs have absorbed all this pressure for an hour's long race. Oh, it's nice, got a little bit deep, the rear end stepped out, and that may be enough for Hibbs. He crosses the line to start his final lap here, gap 1.2. Hibbs just got to keep it on circuit. Where is Barclock? There he is. He's back on the rear wing of Fat Bloke. Down the straight they go. Who's going to get the job done here? As Fat Bloke goes wide, Barclock up the inside. Is it enough? No, Fat Bloke keeps the position. Hibbs, though, still leads and got the gap comfortably to Snai. 1.2 is the gap. Unless something happens to Hibbs, he's got no traffic ahead. He's possibly got one car he's possibly got about, but Snai making a mistake there. And Fat Bloke there, lapping Duckhead. As he's got Barclock breathing down his neck. Argent has got past Flores once again. So it's all happening right at the very end, and Fat Bloke having to defend heavily here from Barclock, who's going to go around the outside of turn number one. That'd be brave, but he ain't going to get the job done there. And Fat Bloke is going to hold on to the position. Or is he? Because he goes into the hairpin, and Barclock's going to come up the inside. But sadly, I'm going to have to come away because Hibbs, just at the very end there, Snai has chased him down, but it's going to be Hibbs who wins the feature race ahead of Snai, ahead of Ramsell, who's in third place. We'll go back to that Fat Bloke and Barclock fight, and Barclock has got him. Ramsell is going to come home for that third place position. My voice has completely shot here, ladies and gentlemen, but Ramsell takes third podium position for him. Millington is going to come home for that fourth place position, all on his lows himself, and Barclock managed to hold off Fat Bloke in the end. Argent still got Flores behind him. Who else? Limiter was actually catching Fat Bloke to the end of that race, but Millington now coming into the final corner. He will take that fourth place position. Millington in fourth place, giving Cam Racing some good points there. Barclock now coming to the line to finish in that fifth place position for him. Great job from him. Good recovery in the end. Fat Bloke in that sixth place position. The Limiter finishing in P7. Argent is going to finish in P8. With Flores in the end in P9. Paul Williams has got Johnson right up behind him. And Williams, is he just going to hang in there? That GTR's got some immense straight line, but it is Williams ahead of Johnson. John Goudet for 12th, Wolski in 13th, Gadsby 14th, Craig 15th, Taylor 16th, Starrock in 17th, Fernie 18th, Saunders 19th, Tucker 20th, Valga in 21st, Beck 22nd, Sam Greaves in 20, where is he? 23rd, Betson in 24th, Best 25th, Smith 26th, Andrew 27th, Duckhead 28th, Lane 29th, Phil 30th, Class not completing, and Eski leaving as well. And that was the Pro-Ams. I am now going to make an attempt to try and go to the comment box in the Discord, so if any of the top three from either race are listening in the chat, we'll try our best to get in there. What a race. Well done, Hibbs 31. You got that well-deserved P1. Congratulations. His debut win here. He's also, by looks things, taken driver of the day. Some superb racing by the Pro-Am drivers. Well done. And usually what happens when the Pro-Ams do well, the pros are terrible. So we'll see how that works out. But I am going to go into the Discord and see if anyone will join me in the comms box. So I'll be back in a few moments' time and try and get this working.
Green light. Go, go, go.
So, firstly, can anybody hear me? That's what I want to know. Can anybody hear me loud and clear? Probably be best if I pop this over there. So yeah, if anybody is wanting to come in for a chat, any of the top guys in the in each race, they're more than welcome to join me in the Discord chat. Nonetheless, it's been a great night's worth of racing, guys. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. Like I said, just waiting to see if anybody will join me in the comments. Well, I'll give it a few more minutes. But well done to Hibbs as we have a look at driver of the day. And so far with 14 votes, Hibbs taking it by a storm. 57% of you voting for Hibbs. So congratulations to him. I'm going to have to give the driver of the day for me to Snai. A very good first debut here. I know obviously it's a bit controversial, but yes, Hibbs, fantastic race win there. But Snai was very consistent all night long and has looked very, very good from start to end. Right, let's have a look and see if this is up to date. Yes, it is. So, just double check everyone can hear me. Yes, everyone can hear me loud and clear. That would be lovely for a little notification to say that it can. Because the driver standings looks like this. Snai leads the way ahead of Hibbs with 9 points separating them. Ramsell sitting in third place with Barclough in fourth. Limiter in that fifth place position ahead of Millington, ahead of Sangreaves. Then Goudet in eighth with Fat Bloke in ninth. Wolski in 10th place position with Williams in 11th. And Gasby in 12th. Argent in 13th with Klaas in 14th. Johnson in 15th place position. Johnson in 15th place position with Taylor in 16th, Flores 17th, Benedict Vlaga in that 18th place position with 19th going the way of Luke Saunders. Luke Saunders in 19th with Starrock in 20th with Smith in 21st, 22nd is Beck, 23rd is Tucker. And 24th is Fernie, Craig 25th, 26th is Andrew, Evsky 27th, Duckhead in 28th, Phil in 29th, Bestie in 30th, Petterson 31st, and Lane in 32nd. And those are your drivers' standings. Cam Racing, though, lead the way after leaving Brands Hatch. They have got a 6-point gap over Greasy Bandits Racing ahead of Fat Bloke Racing in third place with FSO Racing in P4, SimPlay Racing in P5 with Mad Dog Motorsport P6, Stage 2 Motorsport P7, which P8 goes the way of Team Tom. Roadrunners Motorsport in P9 with Team Merlot in P10. 11 is Cloud9 Racing, Ball Busters in 12th. 13th is Quantum Motorsport, RBGT in 14th, and the Malbys in Racing in that 15th place position. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, and a great night's worth of racing. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I do not think anyone is going to be joining me in the comments box, but nonetheless, congratulations to all of the drivers here this evening. Congratulations to Snai and congratulations to Hibbs on their first race wins here at SimPlay Motorsport. And as we look to the calendar as well, Brands Hatch is done and dusted. We now move to Spa-Francorchamps. Obviously well known for having some rain around there. Could it possibly rain? That is the question, but we shall see in a week's time for the Pro-Ams. But the action doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night, the pros finally hit the circuit. It is their go around this fantastic British circuit. The British roller coaster, as it's known as. We will have Kelly Davis and Matthew Duffin in the comment box, Sweet and Sticky, bringing you all the action here. And like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified. I've been Dan Davis, this has been SimPlay Motorsport, and this is going to be the best season of racing we've ever had here. Please tune in as we bring you all the action here at SimPlay. Catch you later.